When we are saved, salvation, when we obtain salvation, there are works that are signs of our salvation or our being saved. The reason why my behavior changes is because of what salvation has brought to my life. I ask this question, and sometimes it can become debatable. When we have been baptized into the body of Christ, and our sins according to Scripture has been purged, and they are separated from us as far as the east is from the west, if that room is clean, how does it maintain its cleanliness? Because if you don't do anything in the room, dust and cobwebs are going to come. So what is our responsibility in that room? Is to keep it clean and maintain the cleanliness. And for a believer, how does that look? Daily prayer, study of the Word of God, fellowship also, walking in the Word, faith, obedience. I was about to say it, and thank you, Frankie, because I was going to say, what do we do with Vaseline? We apply it. The Word of God is applied through obedience. When we say application, we're really talking about obedience. And I want you to know that obedience is not something that you can put on automatic pilot. Because your world sensors will try to prevail over your spiritual sensitivity. Meaning that the world way which you grew up in will still try to be dominant in your life. Somebody do something bad to you, the world censor is what? Get back and get even. But your spiritual senses will tell you what? All that stuff y'all saying. But one of the things that we have to remember is that, and I had to say this to my nephew the other week, was that folk that talk about you, who really know anything about you? Because a lot of times we give into things, into people, and we end up following the feathers, and people really don't know anything about us. So why are we wasting our time? Can I go back to verse number 1? Fret not thyself. In other words, don't you invest your time, resources, in talent, in people, or with people, because they're evildoers and workers of iniquity. You can't change folk. God can. I say this more often. When people decide to do wrong, they've already thought about it. But their resolve is, I think I can get by with it. I think it'll work differently this time. Is that okay to say? So what we're urged by David is to say this, that let us not be concerned or spend so much of our time, because that's what I started with when I wrote it, that God only gives us so much time, so many resources, and so many days on the earth. Let's not waste our time, resources, and talent on people that really we can't change. Let us stay focused on God. Trust in God and do good. Is that not what verse number 3 say? Trust in God and do good. Because if your focus is God, all these other things are going to fall anyway. The best way to win a person is not by winning the fight, raising your hands, cussing. Can I say cussing? We know it really is cursing. But for the folk that really know how to curse, it's cussing. So anyway, so I think that what we realize is that I can win a person by being consistent through righteousness and say, Gary, you know what? No matter what I've done to you, said to you, treated you, you were always saying, you're smiling, you never shunned me away, anything like that. That's what they should be saying about you and about all of us who are believers. Because if change is really coming to our lives, then our behavior has to change. Our responses have to change. I told somebody today when I was driving Northside Drive, I said one of the things that I realized, and I'll shame Ted, I talked to my son, and I was telling him things changed. When I was delivered from drinking and smoking stuff, it came to me that the folk that I was leaving weren't intending to stop. It was their plan to keep on smoking and drinking. But I had decided that I can't keep with this crowd if I'm going to change. Because they're going to talk me in or I'm going to have to walk out. Y'all know more often than not what we're going to happen though. I'm going in. And sometimes you have to separate yourself for a season until you find the strength to be able to abstain. At this age, I'm not gonna smoke no weed, no blunt. I'm not gonna sniff nothing except food. I'm for real. You can't persuade me now, but we all have to realize that change has to be in our behavior and in our language. If you don't know what to say, the best thing to say is nothing. That's powerful. Sometimes your silence is the loudest statement you can make. Okay, now, can I go back over to where I was? The steps of a good man. A man that trusts in God, a man that is in relationship with God. I think I tried to point this out in the morning devotion this morning that we went through, and we talked about the eve of Pentecost, and Jesus promised a comforter. And what I was saying this morning in that meditation, I don't know if they left it up here or not, but what I was saying this morning in that meditation was that God knew we needed help. And for us to receive help, we have to acknowledge that it's needed, we have to desire it, and then we have to receive it when it comes. There's no way that we're going to be victorious in this walk except we acknowledge we can't do it by ourselves, desire the Holy Spirit to help us, and receive Him in that impartation. Jesus says in John 16, around about verse 13, 14, 15, somewhere, He says that I got to leave. It's expedient that I go. But when I leave, I'm going to send the Holy Spirit. Jesus only could occupy so much space, but the Holy Spirit is everywhere. It's God's move beyond barriers and walls. So the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. And not only is he willing to go where God is leading him, because one of the benefits that I wrote up there is that when the Spirit of truth has come, He will guide us. Now that's crazy. We have to let God order our steps. I'm not talking church talk, y'all. I'm talking about you have to be willing to go where God wants you to go. And sometimes where God takes us is places we don't want to go. This is not the convenient thing of life. This is not convenient life. So, He says what? Though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down, for the Lord will uphold him with his hand. God is not going to let us fall. He's not going to let us fall. Let me put a flag there. If you fall, because sometimes we get hard-headed, and sometimes we feel like kids on a bike. We ride so long with the training wheel, we take them off, they fall a couple times with it off, and then they get the riding pretty good. They say, I got it from here. Sometimes with God, we think we got it from here, and we pull away from it. So that's when we fall. But if you fall, he will pick you up. Mm-hmm. This is what David said, I've been young, but now I'm old. Never. Have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor seen a lot of things, but I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor have I seen the seed begging bread. Y'all know the story of the prodigal son, right? That boy, daddy took care of him. And when that boy went to spend everything that he had to be. When he came back to his father with a mind of a penitent heart, in a willingness to repent, what did his father say to him? Welcome home. But he told the servants, go kill the fattest calf. Bring my son some shoes and put a ring on him, robe, because he needs to look like my son. That's what restoration looked like. Sin will make you look ugly. I don't care how much mascara you put on. See, mascara can't make you bottle your tongue. Mascara can't make you speak and be cordial to people and loving to people. It can cover up some stuff. But don't let it rain and don't let you cry. It'll come on. Have you ever seen a woman with an eyeliner after she cried? It leaves makeup traces. Y'all follow what I'm about to say now? When you start cussing folk out, that's makeup, eyeliner tracing. When you start trying to get folk and manipulate folk, that's traces of the makeup. What I'm trying to get us to understand is no matter how the devil works on his side, you got to trust God on his side. I can't tell you the number of times you're going to feel like a fool. I can't tell you the number of times you're going to feel like you're embarrassed. But as long as you stay with God, the scriptures say that I will not put you to shame. In other words, when everybody gets through laughing, I'm going to make you shine. I got 7 claps. That's okay. Here's the thing. I think 25 pushes us to a place that he's encouraging trust. I've been old and young. I've been young and I'm old. I have not seen the righteous forsaken. I have not seen their seed begging bread. For God is ever merciful and lending, and his seed is blessed. That's the kind of Father we have. Check out the next verse. Here's the admonishment. For those who that think about evil, depart from it. Folk gonna get on your skin, they're gonna talk about you loudly, they're gonna misuse you. They're gonna come together, they can help it. But you depart from evil, and what do? You do good. Isn't it strange, I said, isn't it strange that God's not giving us permission to act out? Lord Governor, you got that door. God's not giving us permission to act out. Because here's the thing. Can I write one word up here? I don't really want to erase that. That looks like some good stuff. I want to write a word that the church don't talk about. Who you favor? What you're saying, Bernie, is that God wants us to image him. He wants to look like him. And looking like God is in our behavior. It's in our communication. It's in our fellowship. Look, God created the world, and he says, man, I did all this. Who can I share it with? Who can be blessed from this? He created man. Picking up on what Wesley, he says, it's not good for man to be alone. God is still considering man. How I can bless him. Even when Adam and Eve messed up, God was still thinking ahead. If they repent, I still got a place for them. Jesus came and said the same thing. I go to prepare a place for you. If I go again, I shall come again and receive you unto myself. And where I am, there you shall be also. Hey, check this out. In my Father's house, there are many mansions. If it was not so, I would not have told you. So he let us know. He never have abandoned the plan of us to be in eternal glory with him. Yeah. So, trust this. Can I just do what David said? Trust this. Depart from evil. Because this is what the devil, when you do evil, this is what you look like. The image is marred. And that's what he's up to. He wants you, folks say, what is that? Not who is that, what is that? When folk go to church every Sunday and behave all kind of ways, then tell you what the Bible says, and then live all kind of ways, then tell you what you're supposed to be doing. I had a man walk across the parking lot, and he confessed that he had urinated on the church parking lot behind a building. And I asked him, you don't do that. Don't do that. I said, the church, you could have went there and asked somebody. Well, I didn't know the church is open. It's not open. But before you go on the grounds against one of these buildings, go knock on the door instead. You're supposed to be a man of God, and you're trying to tell me, don't try to swipe your card here. Your chip don't work, and I ain't got no blue lights on. Y'all know what that means, don't you? It ain't time to swipe. So what I try to get you to understand is that this ain't about being a man of God or anything. This is about respect for God's place. There's a lot of places between here and up yonder. And the crazy thing is, I'm getting ready to go up here to McDonald's. McDonald's has a bathroom. You could have stopped anywhere before you got here to one of these buildings decided to go. But that's a reflection of the world we live in. There is no regard for the house of God. It's not the unsaved. That's right. I'm getting ready to go old school. But if you can sit up in church and eat potato chip cookies and nabs, drink a soda pop in church. If you can do Facebook, Twitter, Instagram in the middle of worship, if you can bump somebody to point out somebody's flaws in worship, there ought to be somewhere you stand. But human nature tells us if you can't help me, please don't block me. Move out of my way. Don't try to stop me. I got a race to run, and I'm running by faith. At the finishing line, I gotta see God's face. We gotta be encouraging folk. Rather than discouraged. Someone told me, I think, I was talking to somebody this morning, I can't call him, but I was talking to him this morning. He told me, he said, so-and-so joined church Sunday. I said, I hope we don't run long. Y'all know we run folk on. Here's the thing. I want to stay with this. We ought to be exuding such confidence in God that no matter what's happening around us, we're still saying it's okay. I trust God. Now, I'm not saying be blind, because there's some things you need to say something to. Like children that chewing gum, playing on the floor, laying down on the bench to go to sleep. You need to be saying something. You need to be saying something. Because all this remembering stuff, I remember. See, my mama was an usher. I think she picked these places on purpose. She was a choir director for a while. President, I think she picked these things on purpose. Because we chew gum, mama walk up. And she would let you go to sleep in church. But it was a wake up thing that come across your lap, and you wanted to cuss when you woke up. It was strange how mama would do it. She would tell folk, you could hear. Folk get out the way of that thing. You wake up to what, Jesus? You should go back to the usher post. You didn't go to sleep on Sabbath watch. And when I started going to the club, Mom would say, get home at 12. I mean, she would say, get home. And I would come home after 12. Then I go to sleep in church. If you stay out there all night, stay up that late, you're going to stay up in church. So, God's mercy part of evil do good. For the Lord loveth judgment, and forsaketh not his saints. They are preserved how long? But the seed of the wicked is what? Shall be cut off. The righteous shall do what? Inherit the land, and do what? Dwell forever. We will always reap the promises of God. The righteous will. I'm going to tell you the most certain time of God's promises. You want to know what it is? When it seems most unlikely. When it seems like it ain't going to happen, that's when God comes through. You right in that place where you're about to faint, you're about to give up, you're about to die. God kicks in you right there. I don't know. Right before I give up, I tend to move to a cry. Not a prayer, a cry. It's the desperation of my heart. I prayed the other day, Lord, for thy name's sake. Reveal your hand. Ain't nobody ever pushed that hard. When it wasn't about you, but just for God's reputation. Get broke sometimes. I have a problem. They tell me, I think I do better now. They tell me that my voice has I usually let it drop down sometimes. I need to keep it up. So I get to talking, it seems like I'm talking to myself. This is what they tell me sometimes. You get to a whisper sometimes, you can't hear it. So I have to be cognitive of that. Now this is the part that I want to get to right here. He says that the dwell in the land forever, the mouth of the righteous speaketh wisdom. Now it's all right to joke, but when you ought to sound like you know something. You ought to sound like you know God. When all jokes aside, people always say, you know what? That joke was funny, but he knows Jesus. I did a family reunion probably about 15, 20 years ago, and I had a cousin on my granddad's side. We had met for the first time. We talked for a while. My brother and I talked with Joyce, and we were talking for a while, coming up, persuading her to go to the family reunion in New Orleans. And Joyce, y'all have to know me around my family. I can be myself around my family. And they don't judge me. They just let me roll. And man, I was rolling that weekend. And Friday, man, we were chilling and I was laughing. I was sober. You believe me, I could be sitting sober. But I was clowning, acting a fool. Saturday, I was clowning, acting a fool. Saturday night, they asked a question, we're going to church. Who church we going to? Going over here to church. Who going to preach tomorrow? Somebody flew out and told George I was preaching. Joy looked and said, help. She knew I was a preacher, but she was saying, he gonna preach in the morning. And I said, yeah, I'm gonna preach in the morning. She said, oh my God, I can't wait to meet you. I'm gonna tell you, we got the church, God was there. He helped us a little bit. Y'all hear me? And when church was over with, guess what I was doing when we got to the family picnic? I went back to acting me. And she said, boy, I never, just looking at you, never believe that there's an ounce of preaching in you nowhere. Because when I'm around my family, I know they stuff and they know mine. You know, I'm sober, but I get jokes sometimes. I play the dozens and all that. Then we go back to playing my Uncle Clown's cafe. Neighbor, don't worry about folks on your I remember them songs back then. Yeah, who remember that song, Neighbor, Neighbor? But just get to raise his hand. He know Neighbor, Neighbor. He my Lord. All around. Lord. Y'all don't know about that group. I grew up next door to the cafe, $2.45 for a quarter. That's what they used to play in the jukebox. Put a quarter in, you get $2.45 play. And I used to hear all kind of blues songs. Yeah. Give me your number. Let me call you sometime. Y'all remember that song? Huh? Bro, Jeff, you remember that song? See, he's saved. His memory is slipping. That'll happen. But listen, let's press. He says that the mouth of the righteous speaking with his tongue talks of judgment. The law of his God is in his heart. The word of God is in his heart. His delight, his desire is to please God. He moves on to say, listen, none of his steps shall slide. The wicked watches the righteous and seeketh the slain. Some folk just don't want to see you because the more righteous you are, the more dark they see. And some people don't want you to be right because it shows them up. Can you imagine Brother Jefferson? How old are you, Brother Jefferson? 81. It's 18, I mean. 18 years old. And been around this church all this time. And he got same deficit at his age now that he had at 15. And folk look at him and say, what? That's what that look like. But when he holds a standard, and other 81 and 79 and 76-year-old folk and 85-year-old folk around him, and they see a different lifestyle, it make them pull their earrings out their ears. You know, some 70-year-old folk getting their ears pierced for the first time. And start wearing white beater shirt. Yeah. I'm just talking. None of the people that we know around here. But we ought to have a way that is bright enough that he casts out darkness. Wait on the Lord, he said. That's the part I want to get to. And keep his way, at 34. And he shall exalt thee to inherit the land. When the wicked are cut off, they're going to see how God has blessed you. Don't worry about the wicked who prospers in his way. You wait on God. And when God lifts you up, he'll lift you up high enough so the wicked can see. I'm riding with God. I'm rolling with him. I have seen the wicked in great power and spreading himself like a green bay tree. Green packers. I mean green bay. Yet, what happened to him? And lo, it was just like he went there. I've seen the wicked in great power. I saw him, but he could not be found. Mark the perfect man. Behold the upright. For the end of that man is what? No matter what folks say, you got peace. No matter what folk do, you got peace. That's when you trust God. His God gonna work this out. I don't care what they say. Do you hear what they saying? Heard it. But I ain't gonna give it no time. I'm not gonna give it no attention. I'm gonna give it any measure, any weight. Because I'm gonna tell you, when you know it's a lie, keep moving. If they tell you something about you and you don't believe it, keep moving. But if they tell you something about you and you say, huh, did I do that? You But when you know it's a lie, move. Y'all gonna add something? What y'all want to say? Because Psalm 37 really is saying that we ought to be so confident in God, everything else ought to fall to naught. We don't get in an uproar. And I know how I feel when folk keep nagging at you, you get tired of it. But wait on God. Speak truth to the line, move on. That's all you can do. But I know you might broke. But the transgressor shall be destroyed altogether. Do you trust that? And the end of the wicked shall be cut off. Do you trust that? Do you trust that God sees what you see? If you don't believe me, go to Judges chapter 7. When God told Gideon, if you are afraid, get your servant and go down over there by the valley. Gideon told that boy, come on, go with me. I ain't going to go by myself. Which means that I'm afraid. And when he got there, he heard them talking. And the man said, I had a dream. His sidekick said, what's your dream? He said, I dreamed that there was a ball of load that broke into our camp and hit up against the tent, and the tent fell over, and it was destroyed. And the man said, oh my, I know what that means. He said, what does it mean? And everybody that heard him tell the dream drew near. What does it mean? He said, that's nothing except the sword of Gideon. Against Midian, we'll destroy him. Gideon worship God. The enemy already know he's a loser. He already knows he's lost. You just don't know because you're living in the moment. We have to trust that God will prevail. Amen, Gary. But the salvation of the righteous is of God. Don't you like that? You can't get it on your own might. Your salvation, in other words, your deliverance and your rescue, you can't get it on your own. God has to do that. You ought to trust God like you just helpless. Without God, I can do nothing. Without Him, I surely will fail. Without God, my life will be rugged, just like a ship without a sail. That's true. Without God, we can do nothing. That's why the other hymn writer wrote, I need thee, oh, I need thee. Every hour, I need thee. Y'all see? So here it is. He is their strength. When is He their strength? He's their strength in the time of trouble. Y'all know we almost want to tap out. God said, no, I'm your strength in the time of trouble. And the Lord shall help them. There's a conjunction. And deliver them. He shall deliver them from the wicked. There's a conjunction there. And save them. Why will He do it? Because they trust Him. That's how David been trying to encourage us tonight. In verse 7, they just trust him. Can you look at your situation and say, I trust God? Can you look at what you're facing and say, I trust God? I'm talking, that's a blank line in front of you. I trust God. No matter what I'm up against, I trust God. I'm going to tell you something. This thing, trust God, you will go through some journeys and you will experience some things. And if you get out of God's way, it's called sightseeing. God will let you go through some stuff. And in the end, the outcome is to your good. Yeah, sightseeing. If you get out of God's way, because listen, let me tell you what I mean. If you get caught up in pride, you get in God's way. Yeah. See, sometimes we care too much about how we look in other folks' eyes rather than. See, the enemy needs to know that the Lord is my buckler and my shield. You can fire your darts. You can shoot your arrows. But he is my shield. He's my strong tower. A mighty fortress is my God. Your enemy needs to know that. And I trust him. Though my enemies come nigh, they shall utterly fall. God is so confident that they can all show up at the same place. But only somebody can be fed is his sheep. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. In other words, they are sidelines. They all can show up to your favorite restaurant, but can't come in. Looking through the glass. I need us to understand this, that whatever comes upon you, do you trust God for it? Do you trust God that this is going to be different? Now, here's the only thing that God needs in our participation. He needs our obedience. When they blasting you out, you bless them. When they lie, don't deal in lies. Y'all ever heard that poem? The lines that you keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all being doubting, but make allowance for that doubting too. Y'all ain't never heard that before? If is the name of the poem. Yeah. And it tells you somewhere along the way that you ought not think too high. Don't trust yourself too much. And it goes on to a part that say that even with kings and king and queen, he'll exalt you to that place. Yeah, y'all Google that and read it. It's a good little poem. But we have to realize that when the world is chaotic, we have to keep our head. Just because folk doubt you don't mean God ain't on your side. So sometimes people doubt because they can't see. Watch what I'm going to say now. They can't see that in you. People can't see you prospering. That boy daddy was broke. What's his daddy's name? Well, Gideon. Gideon told God, my people are impoverished. And who am I that you would tell me I'm going to save somebody? My folks broke, they ain't got no money to help nobody. And God said, Gideon, all I need is you. Not your wallet, I got the resources, I need you. And Gideon didn't have to go buy, watch it. How much money did Gideon spend on gold and silver, on metal and iron? Gideon had to spend no money even on horseshoes. You know when you get ready to go to war, you want to shoot your horses up. Camels, they said, the Midianites had because they were fast travelers. They said that the camels could not be counted. And the only thing God gave Gideon was a trumpet, a piece of clay there was a pitcher and a ladder that dropped inside the pitcher. What's my sword, God? You have no sword to win this battle. What do I need, God? A trumpet of praise. And guess what? We got the same trumpet now. You need the same ingredients to win. Yeah. If I ain't got but one testimony, here it is. Y'all ready for it? I've been young. And now I'm old. Yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, or seen their bread. You are so important to your children's future. Who you are today with God is a foundation for your children tomorrow. Because of your righteousness alone, God will allow dewdrops to go to your children. Like the oil that was poured on the head of Aaron and ran down his beard, and even to his skirts. If you do right, you set your children up to be blessed. Y'all hear me? My acts today, blessing to my children. I talked to my son today on the way back to Atlanta. He said I was stuck in traffic right there between Birmingham and Tuscaloosa to get on 459 to go that way. He and I got talking, and I was telling him something that he could use. I said, I watched the documentary. I said that in that documentary, I said they had about 10 folk, black, white, male, female, little Asian, little girl, and such. And I said they had this experiment that they allowed them to discuss drinking socially. And they asked them, how do you know when you had too many drinks? Be obedient. And I told him, I said, everybody told me I feel when I had too much. One guy said, I only have 2 drinks. That's my maximum. And when they tested every last one, they were all over the league. Guess what all of them decided to do? Get in their car and operate. I told him, I said, for the number of years that I drank and smoked, not once do I recall ever operating a vehicle. I said, it was something that was in my brain that told me you can mess up your life. Don't you mess up nobody else's. And I told him, I don't know why. There was always a part of my consciousness that when I drank, I always made sure I had a sober Bible. I said, I just couldn't stomach that if I went out there and made somebody, or somebody raised me, because I said, the life flipped the switch on me. I said, you can have just one bill, and somebody else can cause that accident, and they ask you to blow. You know what they're going to tell you? Had you not been drinking, you could have helped prevent it. You know what he told me? What young folk tell old folk? I'm going to go look at that and see that for myself. I said, I'm not asking you to go look at it, but I need you to see it as evidence. He said, I like watching documentary, Daddy. Well, why did I said, just Google it. I don't know whether it was 48 hours, 60 minutes, or what. I said, I want you to see it. I want you to see it. And the reason I wanted to express that to him, because my son has moved away from my house. And I want to be able to give some counsel and some advice and tell some stories that I think he might listen to. Because what I was trying to get him to see it, you're on a career path now. Anything can mess this up. See, what the devil don't like is that you get it together. I told my girls, my oldest daughter, I dropped off at Clark, Atlanta. I said, you got a uncle's here, and you got an auntie here. I said, Gina's here, and whatnot. I said, you need some money, you don't have to go to no club and get on the tables and get on the poles and everything. My mama got furious. What you telling that girl that for? You should have told that girl. Telling that girl that. I said, because I don't want her to say anything about it. I told her little stupid stuff, like when the security officer escort you back to your dorm, and you think it's a favor, he get paid to do that. See, he'll make you think he's doing you a favor. He's supposed to do that. That was my baby. I was leaving in there now, and I know the devil was on the prowl. I won't let it know. All these little fellas that want to escort you from the library, you call him for escort, that ain't no favor. He get paid to do that. You got car trouble, they come, they supposed to help you out. They're not Uncle Mike, Uncle Vincent, Tiki Fifi, they here. Call them. We don't tell our children, and we don't talk enough. I heard somebody say that one of the things about God is about fellowship, religion. We don't talk to each other enough. Some people in this room are making the same stupid mistake we made. We too proud to say we've been there. We too proud to tell folks, I had over $14,000 on a credit card with a revolving interest, and when none of it nowhere to be found. It was on vacation trips and gas and lunches and meals and clothes. We don't tell folks at church we've been to that kind of stupid place. Then we thought it was all about how you look and not what you were managing. Go get shoes you can't afford. Some folks say, I ain't getting nothing out of Goodwill. Ain't nothing they selling in Goodwill that Febreze, Lysol, them can't keep. And the dry cleaner can't get right. Now your preference might be Belk or Dillard's or something. But I was over in Goodwill just the other day, browsing, like for shopping, to see if I seen a nice jacket that might go with some blue jeans or something. Some of us are too high to go low, to put something in storage. Yeah. Am I making sense? Some of us scared to tell folk we've been broken. We've had our heart broken. We've had some disappointments. We're scared to tell folk. I've made a few mistakes. But that's what we need. All right. That's enough for me. What y'all got? Mm-hmm.
Just like you talked about the wicked, he talked about the righteous.
Right.
How they shall endure, and how they'll prosper, and how God will do this and that. He did a contrast throughout the whole song.
Comparison contrast, yeah. And let's get a clear picture. You can pick what side you want to be on. I'm going to tell you something. Wickedness, it may last, but it won't last forever. It won't. One thing I can appreciate is going to bed, and if I wake up and there's blue lights at my house, I ain't got to worry about what did I do. I'm okay. Sometimes you just got to go for peace, man. Gotta go for it. And you ought to have a house that when you get home and close the door, Everything else is on the other side. Everything they saying, everything they text and tweeted, told everybody is on their side of the road. Now, if you want to miss it, go out the garage instead of the front door. You ain't got to read the same thing in the morning, what I'm saying. If you left it at the door, go out a different door. Yeah. I don't think we ought to be so. I think on Sunday morning,